Hey guys, this is James from the Family Media Network, bringing you all the reviews and news that you can use to help make decisions about what your family can read, watch, play, and listen to. Now today we're going to break down a game you've probably heard of, but maybe haven't decided to play with your family yet. And what more does your family need than rocket-powered cars playing soccer? That's today on the Family Media Network. Hey, and welcome back. And this is James from the Family Media Network breaking down Rocket League for you today. The really popular game where each contestant, each player takes a rocket-fueled battle car into a soccer match, which sounds a little different, but hopefully we'll break down today why I think this game would work really well for you and your family. Now, we're not going to necessarily do reviews the way you might be used to them. We're not going to talk about what's good and bad about the game. If we're covering it, you got to think this is probably a good game. But we are going to talk about here at the FMN why these particular games and books and music and movies and TV shows would work well in your family's household. So today for Rocket League, we're bringing you two big reasons why this game might play out well in your living room. Reason number one, customization. Now, if your family, if your kids like to create and play around and make things unique and colorful and bright and fun, then Rocket League is definitely the game for you. As you look through the garage where each player gets to customize their cars, you'll see an almost limitless supply of options. And that's what comes with the game. As you play through more matches, you'll unlock new customization options for each separate car. The beauty of this, though, and one reason Rocket League works really, really well for a family, is that all of these options, every different tire, every different spoiler, every different hat, every different antenna topper is purely cosmetic. So every single car drives the exact same no matter what. From the beginning of the game to the end of the game, whether you play for half an hour or 100 hours, all you unlock are new cosmetic options. So you and your family can sit down and customize cars all you want, and it won't affect the gameplay. The other reason customization works really, really well is inside the matches themselves. Now you have lots of regular match types. The base game soccer, hockey, basketball. You have soccer with weapons. You even have a very robust training mode where the game just drops you into an empty match and you can do whatever you want. But even within those different modes, you can set up the game however you want. One of the great aspects of Rocket League is that you can actually play split screen in the same room as everybody else in your family, which, if you've had a video game system for a while, you'll know is on its way out. So Rocket League lets you play split screen together on the same team or against the computer. It does let you play online too, which we won't get to in this video. But if you and your family want to play together on a 3-person team or a 2-person team, if you want to do parents versus kids, you want to do cousins versus cousins, Rocket League lets you set up those matches however you want. Now let's say your kids are a little younger and you just want to play the game. You can set up a game against easy bots, hard bots. You can set up a game against no bots and see if you can score 100 goals. You can set the game for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You can set the number of goals you want to score to in the match. So within this customization, it gives you and your family a lot of different ways to play the game so that you can play however you want. Reason number two that Rocket League will work really well for your family is accessibility. The game is almost the epitome of pick up and play. The controls are very simple. You have 2 joysticks, one working the car and one working the camera. If the people in your family can use any dual stick controller, you're probably good to go on Rocket League. You have accelerator and brake on the triggers. You have a jump and a boost button, and that's about it. Which means that once you get those few buttons down, you can play Rocket League, and you have all of the same options as the professionals out there competing in esports. Now, the beauty of that is that Rocket League has a very low skill floor. Everybody can pick up a controller and play. But with all of those same options, it has a very high skill ceiling. So Rocket League gives you and your family a lot of room to grow. Now, speaking of accessibility, this is a sports game, but it's also kind of a racing game. If you sat down to try to play soccer on FIFA or PES with your family, you'll notice the controls are quite difficult. Hey, how do I shoot? Well, hold L2 and tap square. No, hold L2 and hold in square. No, that's not right. Especially because the controls change based on your context on the field. And that's the same for a lot of sports games. Which means that Rocket League, while it's still a sports game, has a lot simpler controls. Now, in terms of a car game, of a racing game, Rocket League is going to give you a lot of options that help too. You can't go out of bounds. You can't kick the ball out of bounds. You can't do anything different to make the game go poorly for you and your team. If your team just wants to drive around the wall of the track, you can do that, especially if you set up a game mode where that's totally acceptable. So as long as you've got your expectations correct, the game is very accessible for anyone from the most elite esports player to the youngest member in your family. And that'll have to do it today because my son is trying to mess up my video by putting some Lego pieces up in front of it. So we'll see if he ruined this whole take. So we'll see you back here on Family Media Network next week where we talk about the fantasy series you're probably not reading but can pick up at your school's next